what's up? Welcome back, Combat Insider. Joshua Furs once again. Nick Portella over there on the opposite side. Special guest today. We're here with the Sandman, Harris Stephenson. He's going to be on BKFC number 5 versus Kaleb Harris on April 6th in Biloxi, Mississippi on pay-per-view and Fight TV. So it's right around the corner. Harris, what's going on, man?
Man, not much. Just winding down training camp, trying to lose these last few pounds and get back down to 170 again.
Speaking of training camps, man, because you do MMA, you do bare knuckle boxing. What are the differences in the camps? And as far as obviously with bare knuckle, you're able to specialize in one area. But what are any other differences that you notice in the preparation?
Be honest, man, in bare knuckle, I do a lot higher intensity training. I do a lot of high intensity jump rope. I sprint a lot more. Bag work, I focus on doing my 2-minute rounds, but I have those high scope punch trackers. So I monitor how many punches I get within the 2 minutes, and I always try to beat myself every round. And so I really try to keep my heart rate up too. Always wear my Apple Watch, monitors my heart rate during my workouts. Try to keep it above 170 the entire 2 minutes, and then get it to drop that last minute of break as much as I can. Because I found out now my last bare knuckle fight, 2-minute rounds are short, but and if you're going hard for those 2 minutes, it'll take a lot out of you. So I felt fresh going into that 5th round, but I could definitely feel that I could have been in better shape for a higher intensity fight. So I'm trying really hard this camp to make sure I'm ready.
Would you say that compared to MMA fights, that it's more of a sprint versus a marathon as far as bare knuckle?
Yeah, I absolutely would, especially with the style of fighting this is meant to be.
Yeah.
You can be stylistic and be evasive in a sense. However, this is made for more of a up close and personal, in the pocket type movement. I like the half plumb that you can grab. I've grabbed that a couple times in my last fight. I loved it. Felt real comfortable from them coming into it. So I really think that's the bread and butter of the sport. And I think it's what makes the sport so exciting as opposed to boxing or MMA itself.
The real question I had for you is you're already very successful in MMA. You're 6-1. Like, you have a great record. So why you're like, oh, I want to do this, but I don't want to wear gloves. Like, why the transition? It sounds crazy when you say it out loud.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a ground guy from MMA too, so making the transition to bare knuckle boxing of all things was a huge shock to a lot of people. Yeah. But just the sport grabbed me from the first video I saw was actually Joey Beltran versus Tony Lopez was the highlight from their first fight. I'd never heard anything about it until I saw that little highlight clip. Man, I was impressed. I was drawn into the sport, and the next thing I know, I see a local boxing promoter from down here advertising and looking for a local guy to be on the next card in Biloxi, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna take a shot at it. I mean, it's pay-per-view card, big names coming down, UFC fighters, former UFC fighters. I'm trying to get a piece of the cake, So I signed up, sent my resume over. They liked what they saw. David Feldman met with me in a casino. A couple of days later, we talked. He liked my personality. His enthusiasm for what he had planned for the next few months, and he's lived up to every bit of the word that he told me. But his enthusiasm about the sport really had me hooked, and I knew I was going to dedicate my time to making this transition as much as I could to see how far I could take it in this sport, because I knew the sport was going to take off like a rocket, and it has, man.
Yeah. I feel like so. Here's a cool question. So we know what you do for work. You work for the police department. Now,
yes, sir.
Do you ever have you had an incident where somebody, like, sometimes people want to get a little maybe fresh with the cops, and they're like, oh shit, wait, that's that dude. Like, he boxes with no gloves. Let's back off of this one. Like, have you had this situation come about?
I've had that come about with MMA since I've done the bare knuckle. I've actually been a school resource officer in that time. I'm in my 2nd year of doing that because me and my wife had a newborn baby. So I wanted the Monday through Friday 8 to 5 job with the patrol. You can miss holidays, Christmas, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to be there for the first few years. So I made that transition. I love working with kids anyway, so it fits right in. But once the kids kind of started picking up on it, they would settle down, especially if they're in a fight or something in the school grounds, and they see me coming, they'll be like, oh, no, we don't want no part of it. But as far as MMA on the streets, there have been times where people try to try me on the streets, and then somebody else would recognize the guy. Man, did you see that dude's ear? You know, you don't want to mess with that guy. They got messed up ears like that. They may not look the part, but he's bad to the bone.
Yeah.
So talking about looking the part, how did we get the Clark Kent of bare knuckle boxing? I mean, I think it's the coolest thing. You might as well embrace it. You know what I mean? Because it's something different.
Oh man, it's hilarious because what happened is me and David Feldman went down to a local TV station, man, and we're sitting there and we're with the news anchor. The first news anchor comes up and they look me square in the eye. They sized me and David Feldman up. They looked me square in the eye and said, "Hey man, nice to meet you. Thanks for coming down. How long you been promoting fights?" I'm like, I'm the fighter. He's the promoter. Oh man, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to make that mistake, you know. So then. Right behind, not even 30 seconds later, the female news anchor comes up and she did the same exact thing. "Hey, how you doing? I appreciate you coming down. How long you been promoting fights?" I'm like, "No, ma'am, I'm the fighter. He's the promoter." They're like, "Man, you don't look the part at all." Like David's like, "Man, do I look that bad?" And I'm like, "Do I look that soft? I mean, do I just not have the tough guy look or something? I don't understand."
You're the scary guy, though. You got to watch out for the guys that don't look the part.
It's the quiet ones, man. That's what they say.
They're the ones that smoke you when you're not looking, or while you are looking.
100%.
Yes, sir.
So, Harris,
yes, sir.
You've already had the 2 fights. You got the quick KO the first time at BKFC2, and then number 3, you had the 5-round war, man. What have you taken from those 2 fights and kind of applied it to this one? Because, like you said, bare knuckle, it gained popularity so fast. It's only the 5th card. We just came out of the Mexico card, huge international card. And you got Artem Lobov on this one, Jason Knight. It just seems like it's just gaining so much momentum. How have you positioned yourself, I guess, from those last 2 fights? What have you taken from that and applied it to this?
Well, my first fight, man, I really didn't get to feel too much of it. It lasted 26 seconds. I won by first-round KO, so I really didn't get too much of a grasp of what that sport was actually like. My second fight, it was a war, and so I got to experience a lot more, and I kind of picked up in holes in my game, and I've really worked hard to fix those holes in my game. And with my opponent they got me matched up with now, I think he's going to see a different animal in there, and I think I've really fixed all the holes. And I've worked with guys I work with Jason Knight, Chase Sherman, other guys on the card, former UFC fighters, are my teammates. So now that they're making the transition to bare knuckles, so now whenever we're sparring, it's strictly stand up, so it's all right up my alley. So it helps me out tremendously.
I got to ask you about that. We actually spoke to Jason earlier tonight. What's the picture? You guys are punching each other in the face and big smiles. What's up with that?
Man, me and Jason's a funny guy. As he went in his UFC career, he kind of got known for talking crap during the middle of a fight. And the reason he does it is he does it in the gym. That's just who he is. And so me and Jason have always had this thing where when we're sparring, we're talking to one another, talking crap, kind of egging another one on to make a mistake, or just boys being boys. But
right.
And it's all in good fun. And man, we have a blast. And I'm telling you, if they had cameras during our sparring sessions, I think we'd hit a comical high.
You should have a camera. Make that happen. Make it happen.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
How big of an advantage do you think it gives you, like you said, training with Jason Knight and Chase Sherman, 2 UFC vets, now transitioning to the bare knuckle world? What kind of advantage do you feel like that gives you?
Man, I honest to God think it gives me a huge advantage just because they're used to that transition to the big show, and they know how to up the training, and they've been there. They've gone to all over the world to train, or all over the United States to train, and now they're adapting everything they've learned into a boxing stance or boxing standpoint of training, and I'm picking up on all the cues and stuff that they've learned and adding it to my arsenal of tools. And then I get to spar with somebody quick like Jason Knight, and then turn around and spar with somebody who's longer, taller, and a lot bigger and stronger, and Chase Sherman. So it benefits me in both worlds.
So I have to ask it's Harris versus Harris, one way or the other. But do you feel it helps you at all looking back at his MMA fights? Because he's 3-1. I mean, it is a different sport, but do you feel like there's something to gather, even though it's different?
I do, because usually you have the same ticks when it comes to stand up, even though you might have a little bit different stance because you got to work for takedowns and kicks and whatnot. The bread and butter is all going to be the same. So
Right.
I'll pick up on all the same cues and stuff. I've watched his tape to a T. He was actually undefeated until March 9th. He fought for a title. He ended up getting submitted in the first round against a good submission guy. So it's just one of those things. He got out of his element, but he's a stand-up guy, so this transition is going to be a lot smoother than what mine was.
Right.
So I'm preparing for it, and I think it's going to be a good war in itself. And he's never been knocked out, so I'm looking to change that, and I've never been to a decision. So
You got goals. Everybody's got goals now. That's it.
yeah, that's
There you
it.
go. Harris, we're going to switch gears here. We're going to play a new game that we have on the show, Would You Fight? And what the deal is with this game is we're going to list a bunch of nicknames. And what you're going to do is pick, would you fight the guy based solely on the nickname? Don't try to take the actual person out of the equation. We're just pretend like you don't know who they are. You're just basing it off the nickname. You don't know anything. All right. So
All right, let's do it.
This is a fun game.
it's a fun game. So
It's a fun game.
so your three different answers is hell no. I'm not fighting that guy. If I have to, and yeah, let's do it. Let's go. All
All
right.
right, let's do it.
All right. All right. The Mexicutioner.
If I have to, that kind of sounds that dude might have some skeletons in his closet for real. I don't know if I want to be messing with that dude.
Okay, fair enough. Lights out.
Same. I mean, that's going to be a guy with knockout power. That's what it tells me. So I'll take that fight. I'll just be prepared to stick and move.
Swift.
Hell yeah, I'll take that one. that don't sound very intimidating. Swift. It sounds like they're quick. I'm gonna come in with power and try to be more swift, I guess.
There you go.
This one's fitting because of the Clark Kent article, Kryptonite.
Oh heck yeah, I got to take that one, especially because the article, man. I'm gonna prove that wrong. Yeah.
Have to.
Diesel.
Heck yeah, that don't sound intimidating either. And I know Joe Diesel rigs, but I mean, a diesel truck, you think it's just something coming straight forward with power, but you can stick and move same way.
All right. Got two more for you. Rosebud.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah, that's not intimidating in the least.
And the last one, the Hillbilly Hammer.
Heck yeah.
Oh, we got one.
I know Sam Shoemaker, but the Hillbilly Hammer just doesn't sound very intimidating in itself. I love Sam. Me and Sam talked several times. But I just don't think it's a very intimidating name. But I don't think everybody needs an intimidating name either. His actions kind of speak.
We need to give you an award. You're like the first person to play the game that was on board for the Hillbilly Hammer. Everybody else is like, nope, I'm not. We've also determined from playing this game that you can't fight anybody with a cute name. Like if their nickname is Pink Bunny Ears, they're a killer. To maintain that name.
Oh yeah.
We're learning stuff out here.
I'm telling you, man. Just like there was a guy a while back, man, in a local MMA show came out to Barbie Girl. Man, that dude's got to be a bad dude to walk out to that song.
You have to be. You have to be.
100%. All right, guys, we got Harris Stephenson. He's fighting Kaleb Harris at BKFC number 5 on pay-per-view Fight TV. It's April 6th, so it's right around the corner. It's in Biloxi, Mississippi. If you are in the area, get your tickets now. It's going to be an awesome stacked card. It's Artem Lobov, Jason Nayak, Chris Leben, Jay Sherman. It's just an absolute stacked card. Go check it out. For Nick Portella, for Josh Furs, that's Harris Stephenson. We're Combat Insiders, and we're out.